You might have noticed how everyone's saying right now you need to be vulnerable in your content. If you're vulnerable with your audience, it will help you to build trust. It will help you to build a quality audience who relate to you, and it will help you to get more clients and more sales for your business. But in this video, I'm going to talk about why this is bad advice and what you should do instead. And by the way, if you're new to my channel, I help established male business owners to build out personal brands that allow them to get more leads for their business and build a quality audience. If by the end of the video you feel that I might be able to help you with your business, feel free to check out the link below. It's just a video explaining what I do and you can see some of my client results. But sales pitch over. Let's dive straight in. So the thing with vulnerability, right, is people do connect to humans. They want to see that you're a real person, that you aren't this imperfect Adonis type figure who gets everything right all the time. And the reason for this is because people aren't stupid. They can see through it. They know that you're not perfect. And in a world, especially on social media and in content, where so many people are painting themselves out to be these people that have made it, they're succeeding on every single front, you're seeing the highlight reel, showing the reality is something that helps people to form deeper trust and connection with you. But the problem is that people often talk about being vulnerable in content without giving you the bigger picture. And I'm going to tell you a story of how this can go wrong based on my own business. So earlier this year, I started a school community, right? If you're not familiar with School, it's an e-learning platform. It's great. There's a popular funnel at the moment where you get people into your school community, you nurture them, and then that directs them through to your higher ticket offering, or you even charge them for it at a lower ticket price. And I had a free community, and then I also had a lower ticket community. So at the time I was charging, it was only £100 a month for a group coaching program, which was way too low for what was being offered. And this is the problem. This is where you're going to see the issue, right? The offer was low, and simultaneously it brought in guys who they connected with me through my vulnerability of me talking about the fact that as an entrepreneur who is 2 years in to the journey and has been living in Southeast Asia, there's been a number of times where I've hit financial struggle and there's uncertainty. You will know this yourself as an entrepreneur. When you're building out, it can be difficult at the beginning, right? And there isn't the certainty that you get with entrepreneurship like there is in employment. But the problem with me being vulnerable in this way and talking about the fact that I've been stressed financially and that there are some times where I'd hit difficulty is that then attracted other guys who were in that same position or worse. To put it very simply, that community brought in a lot of broke-minded wannabe entrepreneurs, and this came back to bite me on the arse. And I'll give you an example of this. I'm not going to name the person because I don't think it would be helpful, but there was one guy in particular who was in that community who ended up being a lying, scamming bastard, really, is the only way that I can put it. Really, really dishonest and unprofessional the way that he handled things. But essentially, he didn't pay me for what he owed me, and he did it in a very muggy and slimy way. And simultaneously, there were some other people that came into the community and they would give up immediately. They expected the world. I used to have an onboarding that, again, it was only 250 for the onboarding, and then it was 100 for a month after that, right? Very little money in the big scheme of things, but it would bring in these guys who would expect the absolute world for that sum of money. And this is all because I had spoken myself about the financial struggles that I'd had as an entrepreneur, and combined with the fact that my offer was a lower ticket offer, right? We know this as well. Like, you sell to people with more money, right? They're normally much more chill with things, even though they're spending more on it. So you need to be careful with how you are vulnerable in the first place, because you can attract the wrong crowd by doing that. Again, I'll give you another example of this. I had a client a while back called Jaden, and Jaden had started building out a YouTube channel and an online business. Well, he'd already got his online business and he was building out his YouTube channel. but he had been talking about his struggles with his life in the UK. And again, this is something that I experienced too. In talking about struggles of life in the UK, it brought in a lot of people who just wanted to complain about their life in the UK. They were never realistically going to do anything about their lives or buy anything. And it means that you build out an audience that is subpar, right? An audience who aren't actually aligned with who you are and your values and who you want to serve. And it can become very tedious for you as a creator if you end up in this position. So, what do you do instead? Because you do want to build that connection and build that trust with your audience. There's nothing wrong with showing vulnerability in the sense of being open about the struggles you've had. It's just, I wouldn't document absolutely everything. And what's more important is that you show what you're doing about it. Because if you talk about your struggles, but you don't show how you're overcoming it, you don't show the solutions that you're working on, that is when you're going to attract a subpar audience even more, who don't see you as someone who can lead them and inspire them. So, for example, if you showed them that at the moment you're struggling to scale your business from 10 to 20K and you're struggling with the upscaling, you're struggling with finding quality staff to have on board. Let's say maybe you're looking at hiring your appointment setters or your closers or your devs, your copywriters, outsourcing, all of this stuff, right? You need to show what you're doing to overcome that, what you're working on to address that problem, how you're improving your hiring process, whether you're looking in different places, whether you're increasing the pay that you give them, these sorts of things. Because whatever you categorically don't want to do is look like you're just complaining about your situation and doing nothing about it. And this is the risk that comes with people saying you just need to be vulnerable. The second risk with it is if you're talking about your vulnerabilities all the time, right? You want to throw them in here and there, and you use them in your storytelling as well, but you don't want it to be the bulk of your brand. Again, I'll give you an example of this. When I first started my personal brand 3 years ago, I was going through a really bad bout of depression at the time. I was stuck in my corporate 9-to-5 in London that I hated. I felt like I was trapped in a prison in this job and in the London rat race. And I was thoroughly miserable. And I started talking about this online, but the problem is that I did it too much. And naturally, that's going to happen if you're caught up in depression, because it makes you very self-absorbed and caught up in your own misery. And I was just speaking openly about that, thinking that it would hopefully inspire others. And sure, it did inspire some, but simultaneously, it attracted a lot of very depressed and unhappy people as well. And many of them, they weren't doing anything about it. They weren't actually trying to change things and fix their life up. They were just wanting to consume the negative content. So you have to bear this in mind. A lot of people, they're consuming your content repeatedly because they relate to you in one way or another. So you need to be crystal clear that they are consuming your content for the right reasons. There's nothing wrong with building trust and showing that you're a human, but don't be so obsessed over the vulnerability. Don't focus on it as your primary thing. And also be cautious about what you show. You don't have to put all your emotions on the table. You don't have to give everything away. There are ways that you can build trust and talk about the things that you're going through. There are lots of different strategies that you can use here. And these are all the things that I teach my clients in the one-to-one. By the way, I've helped over 30 male entrepreneurs like you to build out their personal brand so that they can attract those quality clients, right? This is what we do. We work on these things so that you can build that real human connection without you attracting the wrong audience. But guys, hopefully you found this video insightful. Feel free to check out the other videos on my channel, have a watch through them, see what you think. And like I said, if you do want to reach out to me, feel free to click the link below, watch that video there, book in a call with me, and we'll see if we can help you. I'll see you in the next video.